Okay.
Oh,
Um, okay, so thanks so much, Derek, for taking the time out today. I know you've had a busy one. I appreciate your time as always. It's good to catch up. Um, you know, First of all, I just wanted to ask you, the world at the minute, it's a strange place, and how's things out in LA right now? It must be a bit weird.
it is kind of weird. Things are like, um, I don't know, everything is closed, but sneakingly opening back up. And there are certain, like, I think it causes a moral dilemma, a social dilemma. No pun intended. There's that new Netflix documentary, Social Dilemma. Um, but I don't know. Everything's weird. People are like, kind of like, should I go out? Should I be this? I think people have a bit of pandemic. What's the word? Like a pandemic uh, tiredness, or
Right,
everyone's like not wearing their masks
right.
because they're just like kind of back to normal, but they should. I don't know. Everything's right now in a weird limbo. So other than that, it's like you said, where anyone who is even the least bit creative, uh we're just freaking busy as hell. We're
Yeah.
just trying to write, create, blah, blah, blah. So yeah.
So obviously, I mean, LA is a city that sort of thrives on the music industry. It revolves around the music industry. I mean, without being able to perform live and stuff like that, it must be quite a strange sort of atmosphere in LA in general, in terms of like the music community.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did this like really like social distant outdoor um show at the Mint. The Mint is on Pico and Robertson or Fairfax or something. It's a very famous little thing in LA. But I was on the street. I was almost like next to the cars, and yeah, I was literally like on the street, and uh, so it's one of those things where like owner. Well, it is really weird. There's no shows really happening, but there's a couple of those things happening, and it's really just a way to keep the businesses open, especially places like that are like that have been establishments since forever. And like I don't know, everyone's weird. Everyone's tripping out. It is a weird vibe right now.
Yeah. I mean, has the pandemic sort of, and this kind of unplanned downtime, has that kind of made you feel more creative, or has it been demotivating? Because obviously you can't force creativity. And this kind of time at the minute, would you say it sort of inspired you to be more creative, or sort of have you tried to take a bit of downtime, or is it a bit of a balance of both?
Oh, absolutely. For me, it like exponentially 100 times more creative. All
Yeah,
I'm doing is writing music and um I don't know, writing, even just journaling.
yeah,
I don't know. Everything is, I have so many feelings and I just feel like I just need to write it down. So like, and but there's the flip side of that coin. I'm talking to some people that are just like, man, I can't do anything. Like, what do I do? And like, and I consider myself lucky. I have a bug that bit me, and I'm just going ahead. And some people are like, I think it's the vibe or the energy of what's happening. It's like negative energy can make you completely not creative. So like, um, but negative energy for me, my favorite bands are like Rage Against the Machine and like maybe John Lennon. All these
yeah.
people are like, they write about what's wrong and why it's wrong. So
Right.
I'm writing away.
So, I mean, obviously, your creative energies. The first product that we've seen of that recently is your latest single, which is "Click on Me." I just wanted, can you tell us a little bit about that song and kind of the inspiration behind it?
Absolutely. I co-wrote it with Vernon Reed from Living
Yeah,
Color. Um, uh, you know, the song is filled, it's riddled with terms like malware and virus, viral, online, on my drive, all these like little words that are very technical. But the truth of the matter is, it's a song about desperation, loneliness. It's a song about uh, uh, longing for connection.
hmm,
And it's a song about connection and how we connect. But and connecting is amazing, right? Like on the internet, like you and I were freaking.
yeah,
I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. You're in a completely different side of the world, and but this is on the flip side of that coin. Just how like it's about how a human being really longs for connection and maybe like positive feelings, emotions, and we do it. We do it in such a weird, disconnecting way. We search for likes. We search for uh, you know. Well, click on me is a play on the whole thing. Like it's click on me is kind of like an old phrase, but it's really just like my picture or
Yeah,
comment on my thing,
yeah,
make me feel okay, and um yeah, it's pretty much just about like our extreme desire to connect and
yeah,
how it's completely going the opposite way we want to.
yeah.
So it's just this ironic thing.
So obviously, you work with Vernon Reid on this. The guy's a legend. With Living Color, an incredible player. What was it like working with Vernon, and kind of what did he bring to the table on this particular this track?
This track, like, so I brought in like the music
Mm.
and well, so I went over to his place in Staten Island, and we sat down and he told me about it. He was like, dude, I really want to write a song about what the hell is going on with Instagram right now. He's like, I want to know, I want to just like put it into words, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff. It's crazy. I'm like losing my mind right now about why all this stuff, like how we're all just so invested in
Yeah,
our thing right now. And I want to write a song about that. And I'm like, okay, sure. I love that. He was a huge lyrical contributor. He threw out, like, he's like, I want to go viral. People like being viral is like a virus, and he's throwing these words out. The way he wrote was so conversational and just genius. And
yeah,
he's just like, he's never like written this down before. He's just like talking. He's like, we're talking about like Star Wars or something, and then somehow it leads to him talking about like a lot of these lyrics that are happening. And I'm like, okay, yeah, please, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm like writing it down. So he's super conceptual on that end, and he produced the track. So when we're in the studio ourselves, he is like, um, the way he produces is very like, uh, he's like, maybe like he would listen to a lyric and he would find the best way for me to sing it, like
right,
sing it a little bit more oomph. When I'm playing the guitar around that lyric, he'd be like, really try to accent that word if you can with your guitar, if you can. And so you hear like the guitar kind of follows a lyric in a way,
yeah,
and very like conceptual, if that
yeah.
answers.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just the song, but the video is just incredibly, visual, and I love the whole thing about it. Just what I was just watching it again just before we did our interview because I was kind of like, I'm gonna ask Derek a little bit about that. And I was just wondering, can you tell us a little bit about sort of the theme and kind of the concept and the idea behind the video? Because it looks very futuristic, and it's quite an interesting piece to watch.
Did you notice the Metropolis kind of footage in there? Yeah, Metropolis 1927. Fritz Lang, I
Yeah.
think, is like me, like brought the idea of like Metropolis is kind of like what we're dealing with right now. Oh, do you have me? Am I stable enough connection wise?
Yeah, it just dropped out for a second. Can you just go back to where you just the end of where I asked you that question? Just kind of go back to the start because I heard you say like the first word and then it just dropped. So sorry.
Oh
You
wow.
just
Am I good right at
yeah,
this
it's just
moment?
a little bit. It's just a little bit. It's a little bit sketchy at the minute. But just try again. It'll be okay if you start. Just kind of answer that question again. So basically, I said, can you tell us kind of the idea behind the video? What was the concept, the theme? Because it's very futuristic. It's very interesting. It's very visual. What was the general, what was the plot for this for the video for the new single?
Absolutely. Jeremy Ian Thomas is the director creator of this video, and Vernon Reid brought up Fritz Lang's Metropolis,
Yeah,
1927. He said how parallel we live in this world with Metropolis. It's crazy, like how I watched a movie. It's like a 2.5 hour movie,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's crazy. It's about the industrial age, but really a love story and someone's longing for connection. So that movie is scattered all over the video,
Right.
and then Jeremy himself, he was talking to me about it. He's like, dude, this has been a real trip because I'm like playing God in a sense. I'm in this, it's a 3D animated video. You could
Yeah.
see the whole body of a character. So he's literally looking down into a world of like, there's a park bench right there. There's a person over there. There's people walking over there, and he's just moving them around. And it's just really weird. That's just a part of the process. But the
Yeah.
video itself, the meaning of it, it touches on what's going on now with Black Lives Matter and the coronavirus and the election, as well as just, you'll see a lot of, you'll see like Amazon, you'll see footage of like police brutality.
Yeah.
Um, uh, you'll see Instagram like scrolling on it, just everything that's going on. You just see it's just kind of very much correlating with the song itself of
Yeah.
how we're obsessed
Yeah.
and we need to just kind of break away.
Yeah, that's cool. And the song itself, it's quite melodic. It's got a very big sound. It's like it feels like it's got a big production in it. Did you have a very sort of kind of definite idea of how you wanted this to turn out? Did you already have those kind of ideas in your head that you wanted to be like this big kind of mammoth, melodic rock tune? What was that sort of your idea, or did it just kind of come together organically?
Um, Great question. Wow, musicality. I really wanted it to be melodic more than
Right.
anything else. Just wanted like the verse. I really Vernon had to tell me like less, 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 because I was in the verse itself. The guitar line has its own thing, and the guitar is singing away, and I'm like, I love that, and I just wanted to be like this Queen thing, and um, but as far as how, what's funny, like I didn't know it would be so hard hitting.
Right.
When we were writing it, I thought it was gonna be like a really chill song.
Hmm.
And then I think when we were writing those lyrics, like writing words like virus and slavery and everything, um, it forced itself to have like dun, 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 like these big stops, and I had no idea it was going to be that way. So I really intended it for it to be almost not like a ballad, but like something just not easy on the ears, and it
Yeah.
turned out to be this hitter.
There you go. That's cool. So with this song, I mean, is there anything else to pipeline, from your sort of solo work at the minute, or is it kind of, is this just the tip of the iceberg? Is there an album on the way? What can you tell us at the minute?
Man, everything's so I know, like everything's so unpredictable, and
Right.
you can't like predict tomorrow,
Yeah.
and we try so hard. So like I the original idea was to just have this thing come out because I just wanted everyone to hear it. I just wanted everyone to like get an idea of what I'm feeling. And but to be honest, I have songs recorded and they're like stashed away, same studio, and like they sound like just like I might as well. I have like a 5 song thing. I
Cool.
might as well release it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of an EP in January.
Oh, cool. That's great. Um, so I just want to kind of go back to the LA music scene and everything, because obviously that's kind of part and parcel of everything that you wrapped up in. And obviously you're quite a prominent figure in the kind of jam scene. I've got to know a lot of your friends quite recently out there and stuff. And I was just wondering, can you sort of give us a little bit of an insight into that world? How does it work exactly for those that are unfamiliar with it? Because until I started doing so much work out in LA recently, I wasn't really that familiar myself, but it seems to be like another world in itself. There's a lot of stuff going on. Can you sort of share a little bit of insight into that? How it works and stuff?
Absolutely. This was such a trip to me. Like I went to one of these jam nights in the middle of Hollywood, and it was literally Hollywood and Vine or something, and it moved, the location moved. But so there's a jam night that's happening that's really, I don't know if the purpose is to resurrect the Sunset Strip.
Right.
It almost feels like it is though, because all it's doing is making it come back. And it was the last time the Sunset Strip was awesome was like maybe like the early 90s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but this thing came back and people were just coming out on Tuesday night,
Mhm.
and it was crazy. And so like I have to attribute every bit of connection to that, because I have to thank Adam Mandel,
Yeah.
Chuck Wright, um, and Steve Ferlazzo. I know him from a distance. These are all Chuck Wright's in Quiet Riot, and
Yeah.
these are just people that were in bands, that like huge bands, and they were just like, I miss music. I miss it being on Sunset. I want it to be this thing again. I want people to come out and have fun again. And
Yeah.
I think it was like 2016, 2017, and like um so yeah, pretty much it was just this hunger from dudes from Survivor and like uh all sorts of amazing bands. Like um they just like they would you would they started this event, and then they like uh they would send an email out to their friends, learn this song by tomorrow, show
Mhm.
up tomorrow and play it with these guys. And it's like, so it's kind of a jam. It's kind of like you structured.
Right.
And uh I think people like me, myself, there's a lot of, like Leah from Evil Walks and
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of us on the not so known side, we kind of like waltzed in there, and we just like kind of like, hey, can I please do one song, please, 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 please? And they're like, all right. And then we do it, and they're like, you're doing the next song, and like you come back next week and stuff. So like it was just like, from that, I don't know if this answers any of what you just
Good.
asked,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm just kind of describing how it started, but like the whole jam scene, it's like the Sunset Strip revival, and it was such a great way for us to like make connections and get gigs. All of my session work now, I have a session later today.
Yeah.
Um it has to do with someone that I met at the jam, and
Right.
it's just like it's created jobs and opportunities, and it's just this cool thing that happened in LA around 2017 that now stopped, of course, but like, whoo, it's really cool.
That's amazing. And out of all those kind of legendary venues, down on the strip and stuff like that, what's your favorite venue to play in LA? You must have is there any one specific kind of special room to play?
Great question. Damn. That is a good question, because there are those big legendary stages,
Yeah.
like the Whiskey and the Roxy. They
Mhm.
just feel good, and you feel legendary.
Yeah.
As far as like, well, actually, I love the Roxy because
Mhm.
it's a low stage, so I could really
Yeah.
like look at people. I could really get in their face, but it's also, it has that history. Everyone's played there, and uh, it's either like maybe the Roxy, or like maybe like, I've only played this place like 3 times, but it's called The Smell. And The Smell is in downtown LA, and it's literally in an alleyway, and it's super not known, and it's like I just remember having crazy, it's just like in my youth, with my band,
Right.
uh in high school, we would all sneak in there. It's $5 to get in, and it was just like this scene of punks, and it literally smelled, and it was just, well, that's why it's called The Smell. And it was just like this crazy, just like the walls, it was like this long warehouse, and it sounded terrible. It like it didn't sound, well, yeah, it didn't sound bad, but it's just nothing but, it was like a echo chamber, it's just like this crazy thing. You would just play rock and roll, and I think just the authenticity of that was
Right.
something I really connected to.
That's cool. And besides your solo stuff, and I just recently got sent the new single from Fabrizio Grossi's Soul Garage as well, which I saw you jamming away on that one as well. And
Yeah.
it's a really cool tune, right down below. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about that sort of project, and what it was like working with Fabrizio? I know you're good friends with him and you've been working for a while, but what was that one like?
Whoa, I can't, that's cool. I can't believe you asked me about that. I had such a great time recording that. And I don't know, Fabrizio, like last month,
Yeah,
told me to come in. Like it was a month ago. He's just
yeah,
like, come in, please record this. And I'm like, please let me record this. And I just love working with the guy. And I don't know. I just waltzed in and I heard the song. Oh man, actually, to be honest, here's a real story. I was actually the day of the recording. He's like, like I'll see you in 1 hour, and like 4 hours after he sent that text, I'm like, oh, dude. I'm so sorry. Like it just slipped my mind, or like I had like something that I completely missed the day of recording. Anyway, so I like, oh, I'm coming tomorrow. I ran in tomorrow. Actually, that sense of urgency and like, oh damn it, like a little nervousness kind of like created this really cool track for that, this vibe for that track.
Yeah,
And so it was just really cool. He has an amazing studio.
yeah,
Uh this is like a place where like members of Toto, Kenny Aronoff
yeah,
from
yeah.
John Cougar Mellencamp plays there. Yeah, all these people like have these studios in there. So I went in North Hollywood. I just ran in there, and he's so cool because I'm like super nervous to record on people's music. I don't want to like mess it
Yeah.
up. So he's just like, just be Derek, just please be Derek. And I just like went weird. I had a kill switch on my guitar. I was like all this weird stuff, and he directed me. I was like, please direct me. And it was just really cool. I loved what the song was saying. It's talking about the current pandemic, the current situation, homelessness in LA and everything. And I was just like so excited to play it. And he was telling me like, I don't want this to be too much like a reggae song, or like too much like a Bob Marley song. It
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a reggae feel, but like I want it to have like this cool like oomph to it. And yeah, so I recorded it. Next week I ran in and we made a music video to it. And
Yeah, I
so
love the video. You just kind of walking along, shredding away. It's wicked. Like I love that. I love that video. So good.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. I literally walked in, I
No,
picked up a guitar, and I was just like, okay, cool, and then good, and I just like ran away, and that's it. It was like a quick 2 hour session.
no, it's super cool. I love it. Um, so obviously, LA is a sort of hotbed of talent. I mean, and I've kind of really come to know that recently, doing so much work out there. I was just wondering, besides yourself, which artists out there would you say that we should keep an eye on at the minute from this side of the pond?
Absolutely. Like an up and coming artist
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a great question. There are some great in LA, huh? Because I know some guys in like there's someone I know in New York called Black Emoji who I'm really getting into.
All right, cool.
Um, he's funny because he's a black dude, and he had his whole thing was like an emoji. He created the Black Emoji concept
Right,
before it was a real thing because
right.
the emoji wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't, it was just like yellow, and he was like, I want it to be black. And then he like named his project. It's really cool, like modern R&B and
Yeah.
really soulful and really hard hitting. But that's in New York.
Yeah.
So here in LA, it's so hard to answer this question because I usually go out to shows and I'm like, I always observe people. Um, but as far as like someone like, let me see, hold on.
I really put you on the spot here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, no, I know. No, it's okay. I mean, damn it, man. That's funny. I'm like on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, I can't think of, to be honest, no one's really like ripping my attention away from like what I'm working on.
Right.
As an artist, I'm always like, I've tried not to listen to people so I can write.
I know you.
But yeah, but so no one's really like uh demanding my attention at the moment. um I can only like I'll answer this tomorrow. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I'll
Send me
send you
that.
a note.
Send me that, right.
I know. Yeah.
So, obviously, I recently saw a picture of you with Dave Lee Roth, right? And
Yeah.
so obviously, I'm assuming you're a big Van Halen fan, and I just wondered, with the passing of sort of Eddie this week, how much of an influence was he on you as a guitarist?
Wow. Um greatly.
Mm.
He was just I've had so many DVDs from Eddie Van Halen, and my elder brother like taught me uh just Van Halen licks, like something just incredibly, immensely. Like, he was just someone, I know the first album front to back. I know Women and Children First pretty well, thanks to my manager, Ollie. He's like showed me that. It's kind of a more obscure, heavy, maybe cocaine driven album of theirs. And I don't know, that's kind of a bad thing to say, um but the cool thing about Eddie was, like, he said this in multiple interviews. It's like, if you want to hear something old, get the last album. The next album is going to be completely new.
Yeah.
And he was, even Tattoo was like, when David came back,
Yeah.
that album is filled with he's still such a presence. And
Yeah.
yeah, I learned, I wish I had a guitar on me, but like my brother taught me how easy it is to be, not easy, but like how how Eddie would make really impossible sound impossible, but it's actually kind of doable. And it was just like he sticks to shapes,
Yeah.
and he's something about Van Halen's playing style made me like, when I started learning his songs, I like went light years. And like learning Hendrix was something like, okay, here's something like I can totally like, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan, this is how I feel a guitar. And everyone else is like, this is how it be technical. But those two guys were like, I'm going to be feeling this. And then Van Halen was like, this was like how you sound impossible.
Right.
And but it's not crazy. It's not super hard, but it is kind of hard. I don't know. I don't want to like say anything disrespectful to the man who just passed, because he's just. I'm just saying he made me from like, he just like made me shoot to the stars, and like guitar wise. And he encouraged in his playing. If you learn his solos and his writing, actually, it inspires you to be like really left of center and really weird. And I'm like learning Dance the Night Away, and like just the chords, the writing of his guitar playing is like, there's weird spaces, and it's like, why is there a space here? It's like there's no reason for it, but there is. And he's like, he doesn't do chickas in between chords. He just says that, that, and like he waits, and like I'm just tripping on his space. And so I would just say, man, I hope this somewhat answers that question as well, man. It's just,
You can tell. You can tell. Like I said, I was asking how much of an influence was, and just that answer alone explains how much of an influence. You just like broken down his whole playing and his style, like down to minor little details. So yeah, that.
I would tell every guitar player watching this, just learn his. You'll see his shredding is amazing, but listen to his songwriting. And like, because the dude was amazing songwriter, and like he's really like jazzy. He's like Jaco Pastorius. He's like a weird. He just creates space. He opens his own space, and those kind of guitar players will be legends forever. Like Hendrix, he's like, no, I'm gonna create my own space. And he does it literally in between chords. Like,
Yeah.
listen to his chords. It's weird.
Awesome. So obviously, you've been getting some attention out here in the UK, and I know you've played out here before. What was it like when you last time you toured the UK? How did you find sort of the experience over here?
Man, oh, I miss it so much. Man, I only went once, and I
Yeah.
played like 4 shows. And I met this guy. I think Adam Breeze from Raven Eye.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. Like, I sent him like a whole 8-song set list. He learned it in like a week and a half with backing vocal, and he's a drummer. So he's playing drums and he's singing along. And it's like, so that just shows how like musical England is, and how
Yeah.
people, whether you're a musician or not, like if you're a musician, you love music, and you freaking go excel a billion times over than you need to. And then if not, the crowds, again, I played like a bar in Manchester, and it was like a midweek, maybe people were working the next day, but people show up,
Yeah.
and they're inviting me to their house afterward, or like to the next week I had to leave. But they were like, come, like, can you come tomorrow? Like, there's just so like, if it's some, like, I really appreciate how musical England
Yeah.
is, just how and beautiful, really. You say, I'm sure you would probably tell me like the weather is quite gloomy sometimes,
Today,
but
yeah.
I love it today. You said I love it though. I love how like of course I don't live there, but I love how it feels there. It's fresh. Fresh.
Yeah, that's one way of describing it for sure. Um, so kind of once things settle down, have you got plans to come back again, or
Yeah, actually, as soon as I can,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go there first and foremost. That's just I've already decided, like, I don't even wanna go to another state. I wanna go straight to England, and so if things were to be cool, like 2021, like by June or so, I'm hoping you'll see me in England, first things first.
Sweet. Well,
That's how much I miss it. That's how much I miss it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
well, the last question I've got is just, obviously, like I said, we're in this strange time right now. Do you have any kind of loose plans? What have you got in the books at the minute? Or is everything just still very much kind of up in the air and just kind of taking it as it comes?
It is weird. Everything is like you can't predict anything. You can't like plan for tomorrow anymore. So really, uh, tentative EP in January. We have songs recorded already. Like it's just been recorded for a year now. So like, expect more music. Absolutely, probably by December, another single,
Yeah.
a ballad, actually. In fact, and record. There's so many things in the works that I can't really
Yeah. Yeah.
talk about. I wish I could,
Mhm.
but they're just in development. I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that yet.
Mhm.
But other than that, just recording, releasing, and actually, I'm having fun with art and creating like maybe digital art, kind of like I like
Mhm.
to edit videos. So if you follow my Instagram,
Yeah. Yeah.
you'll see like I put out like dumb little videos or something every now and then, and so just being creative and uh, little tiny pop-up shows, outdoor pop-up shows. If you're in LA, you'll see me around.
Cool. Well, that's great, man. Well, thank you so much for the chat again. Always cool to talk to you, and nice to hear what you've been up to. It's look forward to seeing you on this side of the pond sometime soon, man.